Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay Will, and this is after the hype for the Google Pixel XL. Now frequently I do videos on cell phones, and what I do is I use the phone for a little bit, and then I tell you about how I feel after that excitement has worn off from like unboxing it and testing it out and just having it as a daily phone for at least 3 days. Now that time has passed. I gave my first impressions a few days ago. And now it is time for after the hype. So, you know how that feeling you have when you're cracking open the seal, it's exciting. You're opening up your V20 box and you're just like, oh snap. That feeling does go away on certain cell phones, and on certain cell phones it does not go away. This phone being one of them. Now, a long time ago when the Pixel was announced, the first thing I did was I made a video letting you guys know, talking about it. And I told you how I felt about the price. Now, even after I bought the phone at a very steep price, I still was kind of on the fence about buying and spending that kind of money. Well, that was probably the only thing holding me back from purchasing this phone, because if I can buy a 32 gig iPhone 7 Plus, I definitely can buy a 32 gig Pixel XL. These phones go kind of hand in hand when it comes to a lot of things. But the Pixel XL is a 5.5 inch Quad HD display. It's Pixel's first phone. Hardware is HTC all the way. As soon as I picked this phone up, I thought, oh my gosh, I needed to find out who made this hardware, and it was HTC. And in my first impressions, I talked a lot about the build quality and just the overall feel of the device. But now after using it every day since then, and before that actually, before that video, I've been pretty excited about using this phone. So a lot of people have been asking me, what's my pick? Is it the V20? Is it this and this? That? Well, I'll have some comparisons. I already did a video between these three phones already. It's up. Go check it out if you haven't done so. But the Pixel XL, even though it doesn't have an SD card slot, no SD card slot, no removable battery. What else doesn't it have? It's got a headphone jack. I don't know. Those things are important to people. Removable battery and SD card slot. But for me, I'm still just an average consumer, but I just happen to do videos, reviews. The 32 gigs is more than enough for me, and I do use cloud storage. But some things here that I'm not a fan of with the Pixel XL, and some people might agree, some people might disagree. I understand. If you have the device too, please leave your comments down below and tell me how you feel about some of these things that I'm going to address in the video. So with that being said, the speaker. Now the speaker, in order for me to hear the speaker, I have to really crank it all the way up. Now there's only one speaker, and it's actually on this side of the phone, not on this side. This is the mic over here, and this is the speaker on this side. So I find myself, even though I'm right-handed, if you see in a lot of my videos, I normally hold the phone with my left hand. So I find myself kind of covering the speaker up really easy. But the speaker, in order for me to really get the feel for it, I have to keep it at full volume, or possibly like 90%. And I don't like doing that. But it's just what it is. The speaker is not the loudest speaker. I think that, for what it is, it's a pretty decent speaker. I've had to keep it at full volume to get some good sound out of it. That's just what I have to do. But I will say, when I plug in to the headphone jack, I don't know if this phone has any kind of spectacular DAC or whatever. I only take some of that stuff so serious. It's not that deep. If a phone does have a good DAC, I'll know right away. Like the Axon and the V20, those phones those DACs are superior to a lot of phones. But this phone right here, when you plug in with a nice premium set of headphones, you get premium sound. Lots of bass, clear sound. It sounds pretty good. It sounds like any other phone, to be honest. So I'm pretty excited about that, but just that speaker is not a fail, but it's just, I wish it was a little bit louder. Now, some things that I'm really happy about is, I will say, I tell you, this right here, I'm just not a fan of this. I know it's a design thing, and also shout out to the people in the other video when they told me it's for antenna purposes. I appreciate that. You know, I don't know where you guys get your sources from, but anything helps. I don't know everything, so I appreciate that. You know, this is definitely, this phone definitely has fantastic reception. Way better than the iPhone 7 Plus. My iPhone 7 Plus has horrible reception. I have to be out in like an open, like almost standing right next to a tower in order for it to get good service. But this area right here, while it doesn't look that great, it definitely, if it's for reception and, you know, signals and all that stuff like people have said in the other videos, I appreciate it, Google, because it definitely helps. This phone has fantastic reception. I do a lot of phone calls on my devices, and right now I have all phone numbers. I have 4 lines. I have them all forwarded to this phone, so I'm doing way more talking than normal instead of answering the phone separately. I got them all going here, and I've been extremely happy with the reception on this phone. Speaker quality is good. I got something stuck in the speaker grill. You can't really see it in my live stream Q&A with this phone. You probably saw me in that video blowing into the speaker because I was eating like some crackers or something, and it fell in there and I can't get it out. I pushed it further in, but the call quality, like hearing and listening on it, it's still good. The microphones and everything, it's a strong phone for phone calls. This is the unlocked version, so I've tried it with different carriers, and it works great on all carriers. The reception is good on all the carriers that I've tried it on. So, hey, I guess the glass back works. Now, something that I've been really happy with is the battery. So I'm able to pull down at least a full day and at least 5.5 hours of screen on time on every single charge. So on the last cycle I did, I didn't really use it a lot, so it had more standby time than screen on time, but I still was able to get 5 hours of screen on time with almost about a day. It was a day and a half of usage almost, so that's actually pretty good for this phone because it is a Quad HD AMOLED display, not a Super AMOLED, it's AMOLED, but you know, it's pretty good. The battery life actually is really good, I would say. As long as the standby, some people are really captured by screen on time in the tech world. I like a phone that has really good standby time. And I don't think a lot of phones, you know, I don't know. This phone right here has great standby time. The Moto Z Play has fantastic standby time. I don't know. A lot of phones struggle with standby time. This phone goes to sleep. It really does doze off at night and when you're just not using it. So standby time is really good on here. I'm guaranteed at least a day with this phone, and I can, if I push it hard, like on those days where I get like I got 7 hours, almost 7 hours of screen on time, and then all those other days I got about 6, between 5 hours and 45 minutes and 6.5 hours. So, you know, I'm averaging, I'm just going to drop it all the way down to about 5.5 hours of screen on time consistently. So on those days that I push it hard, that's kind of what I'm getting. But in the times that I didn't push it, the standby time was really good. And, you know, the phone lasted, you know, I still was able to get 5 hours of screen on time. I couldn't believe it. But the phone is good. So battery life, I'm extremely impressed with. Now, is there anything that I'm not impressed with this phone? Probably just this that speaker, I would say. You know, and this is subjective, right? Even the sound of the speaker is subjective. You could say that it's a fantastic speaker. I've heard people say that it was great, and I've heard people say that they're a fan of this glass back right here. But the build quality, I will say, is just fantastic. I don't want to put a case on this. And I don't normally wear cases around the house, but when I leave, I do have I bought 3 cases, but one is going to be the case that I use all the time, because I actually, between me and you and everybody watching this video, I plan on picking up another one of these. So I don't know if I'm going to just grab a 128 gig small one, or if I'm going to get a different color big one and 128. I don't know yet. But I do plan on picking up another. So I picked up 3 cases, but I picked up one case in particular that'll be on this phone and probably won't come off. And I believe in spending a little bit of cash on a nice case. So I want a Spigen Tough Armor case, and you'll see that video. I'll post it probably next week sometime. But the Spigen Tough Armor case was the case that I chose to go with for the Pixel. because I wanted to, for the first time, you know, and I don't normally like to have a clear case, you know, but I wanted that case isn't all the way clear, and I wanted to keep the look of the device and you know, all together. So I really could appreciate that. But this hardware to me I miss my HTC 10. I'm still on the hunt for a nice affordable HTC 10, brand new, and I'm patiently waiting. But until then, this HTC made Pixel and Pixel XL are phenomenal. The build quality is very impressive. And you know, I think now some people might say that the V20 has superior hardware, and I don't think anybody's going to say that the iPhone 7 Plus has fantastic hardware, because it's the same as the other previous models, just with a few tweaks. Now this phone, the V20 does have great hardware, but it's a pretty big phone. It's taller and wider compared to this one. I know I have a case on this, but still, even without it, it's much taller, and it's wider, and it's harder on the hand, if you will. The Pixel feels fantastic in the hand. I just can't stress it enough. Now, I didn't think that I would actually like this phone this much, coming from, you know, if I don't want to, just like I import phones, you know, I try not to focus on it not having LTE, because I'll just jump on Wi-Fi. But the fact that this phone costs so much, you know, I felt like if I could spend this costs the same thing, $769 plus tax, came to like 820 something or 830, I don't remember. And these cost the same. They both have 32, and they both cost the same. So if I was going to give up all that money to Apple, I was definitely going to get Google's device. But again, when you're paying full cost for phones, it gets steep. And if I wasn't a reviewer, people keep asking me, what's my pick? What's my pick? If I wasn't a reviewer, I think the Moto Z Play would be the end for me. You know, I'm perfectly happy with the Moto Z Play. The battery is better than this phone. This phone may feel a little better in the hand than the Z Play, and it may, you know, the Z Play is just the one that's it's just got fantastic battery. A lot about the Moto Z Play can be loved. The price is very attractive too. $450 unlocked, opposed to, and that's with 32 gigs with micro SD and adaptable storage, opposed to the Pixel XL, which is like 300 plus more. Yeah. So the Pixel XL though, I think at this point, you know, I'm still really excited about this phone. I'm not that hyped about it, but I can appreciate it, and I'm happy with my purchase. I say that. Again, if I can pay the same thing for an iPhone 7 Plus just to get it, just to have it, you know, which I use it, but not like I use an Android phone. You know, I've said that before. My iPad Pro 9.7 is my go-to iOS device, you know, as far as iOS goes. But the Pixel XL, it is nice, and I can recommend it to people. If you're on Verizon, finance it, you know, or finance it through the Google Play Store. That's the way I would tell a person to basically buy this phone if they're not wanting to spend that money on the price. Because when I swipe my credit card, it's not like I'm paying for it at the time, but unless I pay for it with my debit card, you know, if I'm paying for my credit card, obviously I'm paying for it monthly, you know. But that's the way I recommend you guys do it. Finance it, you know. If the price, if you feel it's too steep, finance it. If you're able to do that. I know I'm not going to sit here and say everybody has a credit card, because everybody doesn't have a credit card. But if you're able to get the phone, I can recommend this phone right now. After having it for this time, I can recommend it. The screen is nice. The build quality is very nice. Battery life is on point. Cameras, you know, I've done a camera battle with these three phones, like I said before, but the camera on this phone is really good. It is really good. All the hazing effect and all that halo stuff people are talking about. I even posted a video when I did the camera. Somebody was like, "Oh, you definitely have the hazing and halo effect." Man, I'm not looking for that. I don't care about that, man. If I feel like my photo looks good, and I want to send it to somebody, that's really all that matters. You know, I don't care if people start analyzing the photo saying, yeah, you got the halo effect, you need to send that phone back. I'm not sending anything back, man. I paid for this, I'm keeping it. If Google wants to send a software update like they said they would, so be it. But I'm not so much focusing on, just like Google also said that this phone was the best camera. Well, when I put all three of these against each other, you need to go look for that video. Or maybe I'll try to remember to put it in the comments of the description of this video. But I don't think this is the superior camera. I personally think out of all of these cameras, they all did something good. Like, let's be real here. This phone has superior audio to both of these. This camera's zoom is freaking fantastic. You can't say that it's not. Go watch the video again. I got to remember to put a link to that in the description. Go watch the video that I did with these three. I guarantee you'll say that this has the best audio, and this has the best zoom, and this is silky smooth, and this is really good. You're not going to say that this is the best of them all. The iPhone's audio sucks. It's horrible. The iPhone's audio is horrible. Everybody, come on, let's be real. iPhone 7's audio sucks. But the camera quality is silky smooth. The zoom, flawless. This phone right here has a fantastic camera. The zoom is kind of grainy, but still shots are boss. And audio is popping on this phone. This phone right here, it has pretty good audio. I think it's better than the iPhone 7. I think the camera quality is fantastic, but you know, it's not the best that I think. I don't think it's the best camera. Like Google put out the rating on it saying it's the best camera on the market. That's fine, but I'm a real consumer, and I don't think this is the best camera. I think it's a great camera, but you know, it needs its work like every other phone. It's just a phone. So yeah, the phone, the Pixel XL or the Pixel, if you have either one of those, I'd recommend them. Because I've been using this like crazy, you know what I'm saying? So I've been using all of these, by the way. SIM cards in, SIM cards out of this one right now. But still, I've been using them, recording videos, surfing the web, doing the whole nine with them. And I really can appreciate the Pixel XL. You know, I started off saying that the price wasn't enough, or like it was too much. All of these phones are too much. It's just real. They're not worth it. You know, like as far as like I say they're not worth it in the sense that we shouldn't still be paying $850 for a phone when you got phones like Motorola dropping and Huawei, all these ZTE, all these companies are dropping phones in certain categories. I think Motorola is doing it the best right now, though. They've got a phone in each ranking, so to speak, and they're still going. So the Pixel XL would have been nice at a lower price point, but let's face it, it's not going on sale anytime soon. So whatever, either you're going to finance it and get it, or you're just going to swipe your debit card and get it, or you're going to swipe your credit card like I did and buy it. Shout out to all the Pixel XL users and the Pixel users. I think this is a powerhouse. The performance on here is something that I didn't really touch on because, well, it's flawless. There's no hiccups. I have about 80 apps on here. I keep about the same apps on here. And, you know, I can swipe in the menu, but that's not really showing you the performance. The performance comes in when I'm doing a whole bunch of stuff on the phone and it doesn't crash. That's this phone. That's the Pixel XL. So I hope you guys hung in for the after the hype for the Pixel XL. I'm telling you, I would recommend this phone. People keep asking me what my pick is, and you know, but I'll have a full review up later on. I wanted to use it some more. I don't want to use a phone for a week or and then just throw a review up. I'm trying to get away from doing that because I used to do that sometimes back in the day, but I'm kind of done, you know, doing the 5 days and then I'm gonna hurry up and do a review. Nah, I'm gonna take my time. It's not like I have to send this back. It's mine. So yeah, I hope you guys hung in for the full video. Rolling up on 20 minutes. Definitely gonna end this. But after the hype, sometimes it's just a conversation like this. But I appreciate you guys, man. It's Jay Will after the hype for the Google Pixel XL. Now you're gonna ask me would I recommend it? Yes, I would recommend it. And yes, I would recommend it over the iPhone 7 Plus. Peace.